you're watching Overdrive. Now, the BMW F850 GS Adventure is the latest mid-sized ADV which is launched in the world, and it is finally on sale in India as well. Now, BMW Motorrad tells us that they have managed a fine balance between getting a motorcycle that rides well over long distances as well as carries out the function of going off-road completely. Now, it's an interesting prospect not just for motorcyclists who are upgrading from a smaller machine, but also for ones who are used to full-size ADVs. We'll tell you why.
BMW's intent with the 850 Adventure is to mix the legendary off-road abilities of its adventure bikes with long-range touring even further, like it has done with the bigger R1200 GS and the R1250 GS Adventure. So the 850 GS Adventure gets a bigger 23-litre fuel tank that translates to a range of over 350 kilometers. Visually, the design is similar to the standard 850, but the Adventure looks a lot wider when viewed head-on thanks to the larger fuel tank, and in fact, it looks almost as wide as a 1250. The LED daytime running lamps and LED headlights are the same as the standard 850, but you get a tall, height-adjustable windscreen here in keeping with the bike's positioning as a long-distance tourer. Now, this may look smaller than the ones you see on a lot of ADVs today, but when raised, it offers adequate wind protection even at 180 km per hour. At 230 mm, the upside-down front forks offer even more travel, but more importantly, the bodywork is more aggressive here. And as I mentioned, a lot of the bits you see here are standard, including the handguards, the anti-slip enduro footrest, crash guards for the engine and fairing, and the luggage racks as well. The 6.5-inch TFT display for the instrument cluster is an optional extra, but is something you want given the amount of information it offers, and also the fact that it lets you pair your smartphone to the bike via Bluetooth to access a range of functions, including controlling phone calls and music. All menu functions for the display are accessed via this rotary controller, which takes a few minutes to get used to, but once you do, using it is a breeze. On the whole, the 850 GS Adventure looks tougher and more purpose-built than the standard 850 GS, which looks like a large trail bike, and the Adventure here thus also looks far more appealing, especially in this blue rally paint scheme.
The engine powering the 850 GS Adventure is the exact same 853cc parallel twin motor that also powers the standard 850 GS, and this motor is in the exact same state of tune and is mated to the same 6-speed gearbox as well. As an option, you can also go in for a bidirectional quick shifter or a Pro package, which brings with it 2 additional riding modes which are enduro and dynamic, apart from the rain and road modes which are standard.
The 270-degree firing order has made for a likeable soundtrack for the parallel twin engine, and it sounds aggressive while feeling eager to build it. As we have seen on the standard 850, the engine has been detuned slightly for India given the quality of fuel in our country, and it offers 90 PS and 86 Nm as opposed to the 95 PS and 92 Nm it offers abroad. But given how quick it is to rev and how linear the power delivery is, you never feel the deficit or the need for more power. In fact, acceleration in dynamic mode is strong enough to surprise you and make you wonder if the bike makes over 100 PS of power. The power delivery is also linear enough to let you make rapid progress in higher gears at low revs, and I am impressed with how tractable the engine is. That said, the engine does tend to heat up in traffic, and a lot of the heat generated is sent to the rider's legs, which could be a problem in our summers. And while refinement is impressive, I wish the engine was slightly smoother at high revs. On the other hand, the 6-speed gearbox works well in terms of offering precise shifts, but the quick shifter feels smoothest only when you have the throttle wide open and not when using it at path throttling.
The ergonomics of this motorcycle make for a comfortable seating position, and spending long hours in the saddle is thus never an issue, though I wish the seat was slightly softer than what it is right now. On the other hand, the ride quality is excellent, as you would expect of a touring motorcycle from a brand like BMW. And so is the handling, but with that said, the 21-inch front wheel on this motorcycle does rob you of some feedback around corners.
The Michelin Anarchy tires our test bike was shod with offered lots of confidence though, despite the fact that the roads were wet owing to the rain. Cruising at triple-digit speeds was never a concern thanks to the tires and also the planted feel from the bike itself, courtesy its well-sorted suspension. The front forks offer no adjustment at all, but manage a good mix between good handling and a plush ride on almost any surface, and I like how well the long travel forks soak up undulations. Our test bike was also equipped with the optional semi-electronic rear monoshock from ZF, and the unit certainly impresses. Rebound and damping can be adjusted at the touch of a dedicated switch on the left side of the handlebar, apart from which damping also gets adjusted according to the riding mode chosen. The electronically controlled damping is particularly impressive on bad roads, and I remember gliding over every possible pothole, which added to the bike's comfortable manners as also its touring credentials.
But this is a motorcycle that's meant to be ridden off-road primarily, and that's where the 850 GS Adventure truly impresses. At 244 kilos, it is heavy, but when treading off tarmac, there's barely a moment when you feel its weight, and in fact its lightness and agility are truly surprising on dirt. The 21-inch front wheel, which robs you of some confidence on tarmac, really helps a lot when riding off-road. But with that said, I wish this motorcycle was shod with dual sport tires right now, as the road tires it is running on are holding me back from exploring its potential.
As I mentioned, the Michelin Anarchies are road bias tires, and they did feel impressive on tarmac, but certainly left me wanting in terms of feel and feedback of it, especially on loose soil. The rains had made the soil wet, and a layer of grass on it didn't really help matters either. As a result, sliding the bike was extremely easy, but once the tail was out, I had no feel at all and had to slow down to get some feedback. That's where the 850 GS Adventure's Enduro mode helped though. The electronics made sure the slides never got out of hand and also brought the rear wheel back safely in line with the front once the throttle was closed. The electronics helped even more when riding fast on gravel or when pinning the throttle through patches of water by ensuring the bike never lost composure. A set of dedicated off-road tires would work wonders on this motorcycle, as it holds far more potential off tarmac than I was able to explore with the road bias tires it was running, and in fact, I would go as far as saying that the 850 GS Adventure feels almost as capable as a full-size adventure tourer.
To sum it up, the 850 GS Adventure feels like a proper hardcore adventure touring motorcycle, and in that sense, I think it lives up to the adventure suffix in its name because it is comfortable on tarmac, has a lot of potential off tarmac, while feeling as reliable as you expect you to. Well, in terms of pricing, this bike retails at about 15.5 lakh rupees ex-showroom, which is a fact brings to you the abilities of a full-size ADV in a smaller and lighter package, and I think that justifies the price, and overall, this is a motorcycle to consider if you are in the market for a globe-trotting machine.
In our next section, we bring